meditation today, my hope for it for you is that it will energize your gloomy day. So, welcome. There's nothing, in my opinion, that a little concentration on breath work, some practice, moving our breath into our bodies can't fix. So, I hope that today I leave you feeling refreshed. Thank you very much for joining me. So, I recognize that some of you, or maybe both of you, may be at work. That's okay. You don't have to move your space. But for me, I am going to move back so that you don't have to stare at my big mug the whole time. And if you do ever happen to be at home, I encourage you to follow me to a comfy spot. Don't mind me, I have some really bad allergies lately, so I'm just going to bring my water in case I get a little feeling like a tickle that I need to drink. So just excuse that. But most importantly, my friends, as you're settling into your practice, comfort is paramount. It is the most important aspect of us being able to sit steady and meditate. So if you're staying at your desk, possibly consider slipping your shoes off for a sense of grounding with your socked or bare feet on the floor. If you're using the back of your chair, that's wonderful. We can scoot our butt to the back edge of the chair and then use the chair back to help us sit really tall. We're going to try to have an erect spine without stiffness or rigidity. So I kind of think about climbing up the vertebrae. I like to take a little wiggle side to side in the thought process of softening your spine, taking that rigidity and stiffness out. And then when that feels pretty good, start to lift from the crown of your head. Let's think about holding an apple or an orange under our chins and between our chests. If your chin is about parallel to the floor, like you're holding that piece of fruit, you have a really beautiful alignment in your neck. The back of your neck is long, the sides are soft. From here, let's slip downcast with our eyes, focusing not on any paperwork on your desk. Try to look maybe even at your lap, something very boring and uninteresting that's not going to catch your attention. Or you can slip your eyes completely closed, which I would definitely prefer if you're sitting at your desk, so that you don't see any flashes on your computer screens. We don't see our phones going off next to us. Now, as we get comfy, if throughout the practice you start to get uncomfortable, find time to fidget, move around, readjust yourself, do what needs to be done so you can slip back to us in a comfortable way. I'm going to take my eyes down towards my shins, and then I slip them just closed, so I'm looking through my lashes, and everything is very, very blurry and unfocused. I always feel a little safer when my eyes are open just a bit, yet I'm not in focus to the world around me. So our first act of self-care today, boosting our mood on this gloomy day, is to ask ourselves if there's anything else that we could do to get extra comfortable. Now, I don't know that you could definitely do this at work, but that could mean putting me in your ears and taking a walk around the building. If you're home, I don't know if I'd encourage you to do this at the office, but that could include lying down on the floor. Most importantly, we want to find this ease yet alignment in our spines. Let's become heavy in our shoulders. So as we acknowledge that, maybe we give them a little wiggle or a roll or a shrug. Let them drop down from your earlobes. Know that in your practice with me, you are fully supported by me leading the meditation, by the others who have joined us, but also physically by your supports. You're literally being held and carried by the earth, and I encourage you to try to relax deeply into your supports. Notice anything that's resting upon something else, whether that be an article of your clothing against your skin, one body part against another, or the floor or your chair. And allow your body to sink more deeply into those points of contact. Let's think about that again. Is there anything resting against something else? Clothing against skin, body against body, or body against supports that you could sink more heavily into. Today we'll begin nourishing ourselves with our breath. something that's so habitual, 20 to 30,000 of them a day, that habitual. Yet, if we don't slow down and take the time to acknowledge them, we may not even notice that we're breathing. Staying as comfy as possible so that you want to linger. And in order to release, let's give ourselves permission. All of the things that carried us to this point today, let them go. All of the to-dos, the meetings, everything that's waiting for us will be there when we finish our practice. Give yourself permission to fully release, to melt, if you will. It may help you to notice the simple rhythm of your breath floating in and out. Not trying to change your breath in any way today, just becoming aware of it. Now, as you become aware of your breath, you may notice a natural slowing down of it. The slower we go, the deeper our breaths will be. So just take a few breaths and see what happens. Tap into what's inside of you. As you breathe in, think about bringing out the part of you that wants to love your beautiful body, loves yourself through all of life's ups and downs. Quietly, softly, gently allowing our breath to come and go. And just as we're not going to force any special breathing practices today, we aren't going to try to force our bodies to relax. Let's just allow everything to be as is, becoming presently conscious and aware of what's happening in your body as your breath moves. So for example, do you think that as we're breathing here, you could consider relaxing your facial features? For example, I really love to relax my bottom jaw. So we'll let the teeth separate. And sometimes I even notice that I have an actual shift of my bottom jaw off to the side. So if you could try to center your jaws, align your top and bottom teeth, and then allow that to slip down. Space between your teeth, softness in the palate. I like to actually envision it inflating like a parachute, like really breathy, open in the top palate of your mouth. And then as if you're landing a hot air balloon, the bottom jaw is like a basket. The basket lands heavily, your tongue softens down. So now your mouth feels really heavy and released. Moving to your forehead, I think that we hold this beautiful lines across our forehead, but they're thoughts, they're considerations. So they're not a bad thing. They tell a story. We're always thinking, we're using our expressions as we talk. So I don't want them to disappear from you forever, but I love for you to think about being heavier across your forehead and allowing them to just soften away. Same around the corners of your eyes, the same between your eyebrows. Perhaps feeling your eyebrows move over left to right, feeling the corners of your eyes pull down a little bit as all of those lines begin to soften. And then think about the bone structure in your cheeks around your eyes. Could you envision those bones opening a little bit? Really just widening, spreading top to bottom, and then softening as if your eyes could settle deeper into their sockets. And that heavy spilling of energy comes down your cheeks. So you almost might feel like you have droopy jaws, like your skin is pulling down on your cheeks. Your nose softens, your lips hang a little lower on your face. Such a beautiful way to check into our meditation practice. Becoming aware of your breath again after your face feels a bit more open, softer. And I like to breathe in and out through my nose. Now, I realize that's not always possible if you're really suffering from a cold or allergies, but if you're feeling like you could breathe through your nostrils today, notice that simple inflow, but can you feel the temperature? It's kind of cool as it comes in. And then as it travels through your body and it's warmed, when it passes back out your nostrils, you have this warmer sense of air releasing. Maybe in your noticing of your physical body's response to your breath, you can feel your heart space rising and falling. And sometimes we don't notice it in our mind's eye, but if we actually hold our bodies or touch our bodies, we might feel the breath moving under our palms or our fingertips. Can you feel your ribs moving wider, opening east to west, expanding and contracting, belly inflating and deflating as you breathe? Now, in our go, go, go lifestyle, in sometimes rushing, we get into that panic style breathing that's just super shallow and in our throats. So that's why we're here to practice. We're not forcing it, so it may not happen today, but our goal will be to take these just slow, gentle, unforced breaths that do travel all the way down to our diaphragm. And eventually, with practice, we will notice that movement in our stomachs and in our ribs. Allowing our minds to calm, our bodies to relax. Quietly, softly, gently revisiting our breath. Now, most often during our meditations, I ask you to come with a totally open mind, with no expectations. But I'm going to switch it up a little bit today. So if you came with a specific hope that you wanted to unfold during your practice and beyond, not just during the practice, something to have, feel, to express for the rest of today, feel free to set yourself an intention right now. So maybe if you're feeling a little fuzzy from this gloomy weather or your allergies, your intention could be just to have a clearer mind when we leave. It could be an emotional state, a step closer to fulfilling a desire or a dream. It could be huge. It could be something tiny. But once you're clear, if you'd like to set an intention, give your heart permission to allow it, to receive it, and to accept it. And let's allow this intention, kind of like you've planted a seed. Let's allow this intention to manifest from deeply within us. So we'll take a big breath in, as comfortably as you can. Take a big breath in. And then upon your exhalation, envision planting that intention like a seed deep within your heart. Really kind of snuggle it in there. And we'll see if we can't allow that to blossom today. Now we're going to take a little scan through our bodies. One of my most favorite things to do when I'm feeling antsy or bored, like if you have a long wait somewhere. Most recently, my experience with this has been at the DMV. Some people call it the MVA, the motor vehicle agencies, but whatever you refer to it as, that can definitely be frustrating and a long experience, right? So anything you encounter like this, maybe when you grocery shop, you have really long lines to check out. Really nice time to scan through your body so you're feeling productive and you're calming yourself down. This will definitely include our emotional body as well. So as you're scanning over your body, breathe through your physical body, so your toes, your inside and outside body, your skin, your organs, your bones, your cells, your lower half, all the way through your extremities, into your organs, the bowl of your hips, the entire back body. But we don't want to forget to skip over, scan through your heart and your mind. And as we're scanning through, if there are fears or frustrations, regrets, grievances, pains, anything that you experience, you're digging up, no worries. We allow anything to present itself that arises. It's this act of becoming present and noticing that is so beautiful from our practice. And we know that there's a direct link to our physical body's health from our emotional body. So if we allow ourselves to receive and accept soothing, healing energies into these spaces that may need our TLC, we will in turn be healthier physically. If you found a trouble spot as you're scanning through, or perhaps you have 99 troubles, I get it. Whatever's going on, as many little spots that you found that are a little aggravated on your body, your emotional, and your heart scan, envision a pinpoint of light. Send it directly to all of those trouble spots and allow it to radiate out this soothing, healing, loving energy, and help us begin to peel away layers of trauma, of stress, and heal our bodies. A practice of self-care, such as we're doing today, a meditation, it will allow us to hold space for our feelings, enabling them to guide us in our decision-making. I believe that in turn, we're able to make more decisions that are in alignment with our highest, truest self. Because in the rat race, in the bustle and hustle, we stuff things away. We don't have time to really experience them and hold space for them. When we tap back in, we're embodying a guided, clear, decisive state of being. Through our practice of self-care, we are now able to attract experiences, people, situations that allow us to feel well cared for, allow us to feel loved and valued and supported. When we attend to our feelings and we end up showing up as our best self more regularly by prioritizing these mind-body practices and embodying our well-being, we will love ourselves and our life experiences more. That comes back on us twofold with the energy we receive in turn. And then we have this time to come back home, back into ourselves, settling into our bodies and our breaths. Self-love isn't a given, it's a struggle some days, isn't it? That's why we call it a practice. We have to work at it, coming back to the energy of self-love and self-care. Especially, we're humans, so we have a gamut of emotions that are absolutely valid and true and that we should experience. Sometimes we get angry at ourselves. We've made a mistake or we're just feeling down about something. So let's tap into the powerful energy, just as we are today, the energy of self-love and self-care, flaws and all. Cultivating this intimacy with our one true love, the one relationship that we will have for the entirety of our lives, our beautiful bodies and minds. Let's drop back into the sanctuary of our bodies and breath. And there could be a whole lot going on around you right now, especially if you're sitting in your workspace. So kudos to you for resting here and grounding here, no matter what's happening on the outside world. I love to think about settling within, coming within to our silent space and taking refuge, immersing ourselves in our breath, placing thoughts aside, placing plans aside as they begin to creep back into our minds. And then, we're humans, so the thoughts are going to come as we practice our meditation. I don't care if you practice every single day. You're still going to have thoughts come in here and there. So we'll rest then in the space between those thoughts, rather than trying to always cast them aside. Okay, acknowledge that thought. Maybe you even label it, earmark it for later, and then we rest in the space that comes between them. We have to trust, we have to let go, surrendering to this inner sanctuary, letting breath be our anchor to this moment. And if you're feeling unaware of connecting, maybe you're feeling like you have a very hard time finding your breath and breathing in a body scanning type of meditation, meet that with acceptance as well. Just be, just breathe. We're very non-judgmental, kind, and compassionate about what is happening. Giving just a bit more of ourselves to our supports as we let our legs get a bit heavier. Can you come even deeper into any other areas of your body? As I sit longer, I notice that my shoulders start to drop back, and then sometimes your posture will go. You'll start to get so surrendery that you form this little lump, kind of. I've made my way there now. So when that happens, start to move yourself back up. That's a good thing that you got super comfy. But we still want to maintain that soft, long spine so that we can breathe lightness and brightness into our bodies. And as you're practicing this loving meditation today, is there an energy to this self-love that you can notice? For example, we talked about temperature of our breath earlier. That's something that is easier to notice, the cool air coming in and the warmer air passing back out. So does your energy that you're invoking, that you're breathing into your body today, does it have a temperature as well? Does it have a color? That's an easier one for me. Like if I'm feeling a little grumpy from the bad weather lately, I feel like my color of energy is pretty gloomy, like maybe a brownish or a grayish to match what's outside. But as we do this practice, maybe we can transform that. However you experience your energy, perhaps you can see it changing, encouraging it to follow you. Maybe that energy has a texture, a feeling. Is there a word associated with your energy and the transformation of your energy through your self-loving practice? Breathe into whatever you're experiencing. Really feel, really experience this energy of self-love that we are encouraging to bring in. Soaking up new energy, good vibes, becoming more powerful as we focus on our breaths. So when we spoke about an intention earlier, if you didn't come up with one, or even if you did and you'd be open to changing it, do you think that we could make our intention as a group to fully love ourselves, even when it's really challenging? I get real down when the weather's gloomy like this. So that's a tough one for me to try to find happiness and love when it's quite gross outside. So even if that's challenging, let's try. Let's make that our intention today, or maybe an additional intention today. Fully showing up and loving ourselves no matter what. If you encounter resistance to that, I understand. Hold that with love and tenderness as well. Everything that shows up is valid. Hold it in your attention with the power of love. Remember that your body, your mind, your spirit needs this energy today. Physically and imaginatively, move your hands to any areas that need a little extra TLC and offer that light again. Offer that light of self-love. Feel that healing energy saturating you. Offer yourself the light of your own self-love. If it's going to be gloomy and grumpy outside, not light and bright, then we'll offer that to ourselves. Unconditional self-acceptance. So my friends, as we finish our formal practice together today, let's try to move forward with a calm sense of knowing that whatever arises is as it should be. Let's offer our gratitude for our meditation community that we have been giving. And I offer you my blessings for a bright, beautiful day, despite the weather as you travel home from work or venture out of your home office space. And in that, I'll bow deeply to you. I like to place my hands in a prayer at my heart center, but sometimes I'll cover my hands with my heart. And the bow is in gratitude to ourselves for settling into this practice today, but mine specifically is to you for being here, for helping us come together and form a community, and for allowing me to lead you. Namaste. I hope you have lightness and brightness in your day ahead. Thank you and have a beautiful Wednesday.